you guys. Welcome to Different by Default. I know we look different, but my name is Sherelle, and we're going to introduce ourselves before we get into today's topic. So, to my right is
Monique. That's my name.
And this is...
I'm Jessica.
I'm Francesca.
And I'm Judy.
Yes, so welcome to today's episode. We are going to be talking about the woman struggle, the female struggle, and all topics about females. So if you're a lady, thank you for joining. You're going to love this episode. If you're a guy, tune in and learn some things. All right, so the first question that I have for everyone here, right? What do you see the younger generation doing that you don't understand? Anybody want to take that?
Well, I'll start just by saying that because I don't really know a lot of what the younger generation is doing, but what I'm finding is that we're all similar when we're in that space and time, that we follow the lead of what society is doing in that moment. So that I would say I don't understand because I'm always running away from what everyone else is doing, but we kind of fit the mold and we just follow wherever,
society
is moving at that point. That point.
Anybody else? What are they doing that we're like, eh?
Well, it's kind of weird for me because, I feel like I'm the generation
You're
talking about you. Because, I'm at least 10 years younger than you guys, I think. But I think an issue my generation has is that we more so chase, the picture instead of enjoying the process. So a lot of people like the pictures of what you can show off to other people, but a lot of people hide, the hard work to actually go through, and that gives this false narrative of it's easy to do this, but it's not really easy until you're in the grind and you're in it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's true. I wouldn't say understand, but I think that kind of to piggyback what Judy was saying, it's kind of a more focused social media time and running the social media more so than what is actually more important at the time and of more value at the time, and just not realizing that. So I think we don't understand that because we wasn't really raised the same way they were raised in it, so it's more valuable to them than it is.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'll also piggyback on both of you guys in terms of our generation today. We knew something different. Our generation or our parents' generation, it was hard work, and now it's the picture. Yeah. Everything is about the picture. So I definitely don't understand how, like Judy said, here's what I have, but we don't talk about the grind that goes into it. Yeah. So everyone's into that assumption that everything is, I can get it quick and easy, and not realizing that there's a grind that goes behind it.
Yeah.
And it's hard. I feel like that's a harder thing to grow up in, almost, because I feel like you could get discouraged very easily. Because when you do get into it, it's why it's not happening as quickly for me as it's happening for everyone else that I'm seeing online.
That gets you into complexes and all of that stuff too. You know what? I think for me, it's more relationship wise. So I don't understand why this generation is looking for love and looking for all of that stuff, but then they kind of contradict every aspect of looking for love. So it's I want to be in relationship and stuff like that, but I want to be a city girl. I'm not understanding. Make it make sense, baby girl. I don't get it.
Make it make
Somebody
sense.
explain this to me, So I really want to. I don't know, Judy. Maybe that's your people's. You want to explain that one to me, or Monique? You
Should I represent everybody?
Okay. Who want to explain this to me? Anybody?
Well, I mean, listen, I don't know much about the city girl life. I'm like you said, I'm a little bit outdated.
Yeah.
But when I think about it, when I think about the generation, I think it's also the culture.
Yeah.
Because it's not just the younger generation. There's a lot of older women who are also living I want to be the city girl.
Yeah, city girl.
Okay. So yeah, I think that a lot of it has to do with the culture too, and has nothing to do with anything outside of just the women in general. We know what we want from young adults.
Yeah.
But society is different right now. It's not acceptable to be in a monogamous relationship.
Ooh, child. Yes.
It's fun. You're hearing a lot more. You're hearing a lot more women open and honest about the fact that they don't want monogamy. They secretly do, but they don't want it right now because it's not in.
Yeah.
Dating around is, listen, it's cool.
Yeah.
You know, it's in. So that's what I'm thinking of when you had made mention of that. Even when Judy made mention of that, I'm like, okay, so it's not really a generational thing. It's
like society.
it's what's
maybe.
going on right now. It's open. And people are like, listen, everyone's okay with it, and that's fine. But like you said, how is it? It's contradicting.
Yeah.
How is it that you want that love and you want that romance like what you see on social media, but at the same time you present yourself as something different?
Yeah.
You want to be, I don't want to say out in the streets. I feel like that's aging myself, but like you know, you're living
You
that
wanna
life where
be-
it's outside of the norm of wanting to live in a life where you're monogamous with one partner.
Yeah.
You know, and that's from a female's perspective, you know, because
That makes
the
sense.
men is a whole nother
We won't talk about that.
whole nother topic.
All right, let me jump into this. What is something that you love that the younger generation is doing? I think I want to start here. So you know what? I like that they are, I'm trying to see what's the word I want to use. They're not, I'm trying not to use that word. They are assertive. They go for what they want. Right. I love that. I'm specifically thinking about, like, I see these things on TikTok where they're like when they're at jobs and the job is like, you know, hey, I want you to do this. And they're like, you're not paying me enough for that. So they're like, no. Whereas I think my generation, millennials, we would have been like, okay, you know, tuck our head down. Gen, what is it? Z? They're like, absolutely not. No, not doing it, not happening. Find somebody else. Matter of fact, this is my last day on the job. I'm out.
No tweaks. No tweaks. Right
notice.
now.
No.
No, notice, absolutely not. You
Starting
know,
anew tomorrow.
I'm seeing these videos of these like people who are like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna quit today. I have a new job. I have to start later, so bye. You know, I
And
love
calling
that.
out everybody at the job.
Exactly. I love that. Their honesty, their boldness. I kind of feel like on some level it cripples Gen Z a little bit, but I do love that because that's something I'm like, gosh, I wish, you know, we would have done something
As a
like
society,
that.
it wasn't pushed during our time.
Yeah,
That
it wasn't.
was.
Yeah.
But some of it can be very disrespectful.
That's
you
what
know?
I'm saying. Sometimes it could be like a little too much, but I like it. Yeah. What about anybody?
I would say I love their awareness. I don't believe that I was as aware of social causes and all the different things, what they're doing, different steps that they would take. I really enjoy that and watching that I didn't really see as younger, that we wasn't aware as much as they are aware of so many things and just stepping foot into so many social causes.
Yeah. That's a good one.
One thing I like that I'm noticing on a professional note, people are more transparent and open with their emotions, both men and women, but finding a lot more women culturally accepting the fact that they're struggling and asking for help. But generations before me and even my generation, it's just kind of like you struggle in silence until it affects you later on, and not just for you but also the generations thereafter. So if you have children, like it kind of, these generational habits take into effect. So I'm finding a lot more people are open about their struggles, their anxieties, their depressions, and asking for help is a real thing. So I'm loving it.
McDonald's. It's not sponsored.
Yet.
Speaking of sponsored, check out Judy May's, what do you call this? Windbreaker.
Windbreaker.
Get your
Delivered by
merch, y'all.
default, Windbreaker.
Yes.
Get your merch.
And they have it in pink too for
Yeah.
all my pink lovers. Shout out to my pink lovers. You know, it's dope.
The link is probably on their Instagram page, the
Yeah.
Different by Default Instagram.
Go get that merch.
So get
Or
your merch.
in the link below on YouTube. So
Yeah.
check that out. All right. Yes. Things you love from this generation.
I'm gonna go with a double-edged sword
Okay.
that is social media.
Yes, I see. Yes,
It's a double-edged
it
sword.
is.
And the reason why I say that is because I'm a big advocate that we gotta be careful what we see. But the thing that I love about it is there's a lot of information getting out to us quicker than before. Like I think about things that I've seen of being aware in a different sense, Jessica. Being aware of your surroundings when we're out as females. What do we do? How do we, deal with certain situations, uncomfortable situations? And that awareness is being brought to so many women all over the world with just, touch of a button. So I think this generation, or what's going on now, social media and getting information out as quickly as possible is something that I really like.
Yeah, that's good.
Something I like about my generation a lot is that a lot of us are really just putting ourselves out there and betting on ourselves. Because growing up, everyone actually tells you to like chase your dreams, you know, and then actually our generation is actually doing that.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
I never thought like me and my sister were both about to go to medical school.
Okay,
crazy.
Black girl magic.
Yeah, like, even though like you don't have to go to medical school, but one of my friends, how she started off going to school as medical school, but now she's working for the Brooklyn Nets and changing her whole career. So I feel like it's really cool. Like if you know something's not on you and you know you can do it, just putting yourself out there and betting yourself and reaping the benefits of that.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah, that's a wonderful thing. I know. I do love that about your generation. I'm thinking of when I went to college and I wanted to switch majors. I wanted to switch careers, but I was so afraid to do that and just go for my dream, which technically I'm living it now. But, you know, I had the guts to do it now. But back then it was like, I felt like I wasted time, whereas your generation is like, I'm going for it now. So I love that about you guys. Absolutely. That's really, really dope.
And surprisingly, it actually encourages the generations before.
It does.
Because
It's like they're doing it while we're not doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you know, like, oh, I could back y'all up too. I can do it too, you know? So, yeah, it's really dope. All right. So let's take a slight pivot here, okay? Are you happy with where you are in life? And do you see yourself improving if need be? Are you happy? Everybody?
I'm going to jump on that.
Yeah.
I'll jump on it.
It's going to be an interesting one.
We had this conversation before this. Where I am currently in my life, am I happy? Not my definition of happiness, but am I content? Yes. But because it's contentment, I'm not happy because I know that there's another place that I'd like to go from here. So I talked about getting out of this, I don't want to call it a slum, but this box that we grew up believing that you needed to have X, Y, and Z before you can go to the next step. Yeah. So for me, it's like, okay, although it might not be in order, but I'm going to get it and I'm going to go after it. I was talking about purchasing a home. So these are the things that I'm talking about, like wanting to step outside of the box and saying, you know what? My generation before told me that I couldn't do it by myself, but I want to be able to do it because of the generations that came after us that are saying that if I want something, I want to go get it.
Yeah.
Yes, you know, my job may not be at where it needs to be and I may not be content in my job, but because of that, I'm ready to leave. You know, I'm ready to leave, and that is okay. I'm ready to leave, and no one can say anything about it. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I love that. Same here. I think I am. You know what? I am happy with my life currently this year. What's happening? Well, no, not what's happening in the world, but just personally, I'd say, yeah, for me, I am in a happy place. Thank God. Praise the living God. I think improvements. I think I am doing the improvements. Going to therapy, which was shunned upon before, but we're going now because we're gonna heal, okay, and be great. I don't think that I would change anything. I mean, get into the bag, you know. Always get into the bag, collecting coins. You know, I want to catch flights, even though I'm scared to fly. But I am. But I'm going to be on those flights. I am going to be on the flights. You know. No, but you know what? It took a while to get here, and I will credit Gen Z again for the being brave enough to go for what you want. Is kind of okay. I don't want to just point it on.
Shout out to us.
But you guys did you know you're boosting or helping us to do some of the things that we were afraid to do. I will say that my generation, I feel like we opened or cracked the door, and we're like, okay, we're gonna put our toe in here. And we want to do some of these things. We're going to try to do some of these things. And Gen Z just came up like, hey, guys, come on in. Let's go. You know, so I appreciate you guys doing that because that yeah. You know? Gen Z's looking around like, oh, there's an upstairs, guys. You know, and we're at the door like, can we go in here? You know? But I appreciate you guys for that. So I think that helped me reach my happy level. And there's more to come. So.
Right.
Yeah.
I would say I am happy as well. I feel like I did a lot of inner work. I did a lot of mental and emotional work on myself that makes me able to appreciate physical things that come to pass. So I feel like I am happy, but I'm also still striving. Meaning I never feel like you reach a place where you're done or you've arrived. I feel like you can always continue to improve. So I feel like I am at a good place that before, when I would get in a rut, I didn't know where to go and how to turn and how to handle it. I feel like now I know, okay, I'm starting to feel this way. This is what I need to do. This is where I need to go. This is what are my triggers. This is how I work myself and whatnot. So I feel like I am happy and I know how to improve.
Self-awareness is a big word.
That's my word for me.
Is I think it's I don't know if it's the key to happiness. I don't want to go as far as to say that, but it's a major part of that. You know what I mean? Other people can't.
And growth.
Yeah.
Because I feel like sometimes people know, but it's that's who I am.
Yeah.
Versus I'm going to work on this.
Yeah, don't settle in that. That's just who I am. You could work on that.
Right. There's such a version of you that's so much better than that version. And the life that version grants you is just amazing.
I am in a spirit and a place of contentment. And I say that very loosely in the sense that I'm recognizing that everything's not going to go the way that I want it to go.
Yeah.
And you reach a point in life, and it has nothing to do with age. It's more so experience. You reach a point in your life where you realize that the things that you set up or planned for your life, when they don't go your way, you can't just give in and just say, okay, now what? It builds character, it builds resiliency, and I think that at this point in my life, I'm like, okay, I need to make moves for me, you know, and those are some things that I've done. And when it comes to my career, years of waiting for things to change, I've been doing the work. I've been doing the work, and I've been seeing the fruits of my labor, absolutely, for years. And some of it didn't make sense to me. And I was like, okay, this is where I want to be. I had no time limit, but it was just this is where I want to be. And as I was watching things move, and I was just like, wait, this is not how I thought it was going to go. This is not how long it was going to take. Not that I had a timeline, but to see myself in the places that I've built, obviously, like you said, God definitely did it. Okay. But just being right now in this space, I'm happy and content where I am. There's definitely room for improvement. There's definitely some things that I would like to happen differently. But I'm thankful that I don't need those things to be 100% happy. Yeah. If those things don't happen, my purpose in life is still fulfilled.
Yeah.
And I'm finding that I'm walking more into my purpose than anything ever. Just being able to help other people and walk away going, wow, I touched someone. So all that other stuff, the finances, the big home, if it doesn't happen, it's okay. I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm happy.
Yeah.
And so that's where I'm at. I'm in a spirit and a space of contentment, just because where I am today is more than what I would have expected maybe 2 years ago. I'm like, wow, I didn't think this thing was, I didn't see this for myself, but ultimately that overall goal is just wow, I'm hitting it, so.
Yeah.
For me, I am happy where I am only because I've been working towards a goal and I'm on the right track of reaching that goal, which is in working in my career. But it's so weird because I'm only 23 and I still feel like I don't know myself in a sense.
That's okay.
I haven't seen myself in specific phases. I don't know who I am in a relationship. I don't know who I am in walking in my purpose. I don't know who I'm in different things. So I can look forward to learning who I am and learning who I am in different spaces. But it's not I'm upset about where I am as a person.
Yeah.
But there's still more to me to learn about.
Yeah.
And I'm still working on that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that though.
Yes.
But yeah.
I think that's normal.
Yeah, at that 23, man, your 20s, I feel like everybody, again, and this is probably the other side of social media where it's oh, you have to have your life together. No, you don't.
No, I got nothing together.
No, you don't.
You're learning, you're moving, figuring things out. You don't, I feel like I'm older, I'm 30, And
What was that?
you know, and I feel like this is a perfect question for me to answer now, because I'm like, I feel like I'm settling in now, not settling, but settling into who I am and learning things about myself that I'm like, all right, I can rock with this. Whereas in my 20s, woo child.
If I didn't hit this goal, the world is over.
Listen, you know, like, oh my gosh, like, I don't want to talk to nobody for life. Like, you know, and.
But that's why I think it's so important
Yeah.
for generations to help especially that teenage 20-something-year-old generation out to realize that it's too soon
Yeah.
to put those barriers on yourself. Where it's like, if these goals are not met, like you said, I failed. No, you're far from it. If anything, you just got started, right?
Just getting
And
started.
to chip away so soon on it's probably better for you than to focus on, you know, moving mountains. Like you got plenty of opportunity. I don't want to say time, because, you know, time is very limited, but at the same time, it's like you have an opportunity that the first time you chip away, it doesn't move.
Yeah,
it's
not
okay.
a hard fall so much.
You know.
Like, if you have the opportunity, like, if you are, you know, with your parents or your family or someone caring or guardian or whatever you have, that support system that you have, if you have that and you're in your 20s, you know, like, I feel like you can afford to stumble a little bit, because there's somebody that's behind you that'll be like, okay, you shouldn't have done that, but they still will push you up or help you back up, or, you know, whatever the case may be. So I think in your 20s you have some wiggle room.
And I think that's all that we said, that we're learning from you guys as well, is that you fall, okay, next. Right. You know, get up and try it all over again. You know, don't get just stuck right there where you fell.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Let's see. What do we have? What would you tell your younger self?
Trust the process.
Listen,
for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I tell clients now, just trust the process. Just stay in the here and now, the moment. Don't focus on yesterday. Don't focus on tomorrow. Just focus on right now. Because you'll learn from all the things that happened to you prior, and those experiences today will influence your tomorrow. So don't be so pressed for what's going to happen or what did happen, because how much we martyr ourselves by the things that we did or other people before did. So just kind of trusting the process and staying there.
I want to piggyback on that, because that's what I've grown to learn the most. I like now the process more than just the destination. The process has made me who I am. Even the times I didn't make the destination, I didn't get there, who I was and who I became in the process, I would never want to take that back. Like, who it made me become, never. So I almost am like, I appreciate the harder times. If I got certain things, when I look back, if I would have got the destination before I became this person,
that wouldn't have been it.
that would have. I'm like, you didn't need to get this at that time, but getting it now, I know how to handle it. I know how to be with others and whatnot. So it's really the process and who it made me become. That's why I'm okay with the mistakes. I'm okay with the failure. It's I'm learning more than anything.
Yeah. You know what? I so you know this, but I used to think that the word process was a cuss word. I really did. I hated. I'm like, yo, I don't want to go through all of this just to get to where I'm going. I just, you know, get me there. You know, let me do my thing. But you know what, like you were saying, the process, the learning and becoming and seeing the change. Like I'll you know, specifically for me, I being patient was not my thing. And now just sometimes I literally look in the mirror, or I'm just talking to myself in my car, and I'm like, who are you? Like, how did you become this patient person? How did you, because you know, somebody cuts me off before, if you cut me off, oh, it was a problem. Okay. We were going to settle this. But now it's like, I could roll it off my shoulder. You know, I might still be mad, but I could roll it off my shoulder. But just the process of becoming, you know, shout out to Michelle Obama. It's just a beautiful thing. Yeah. It's
we forget that when you're watching a flower bloom, it started from a seed, you know, and it took time. It took countless amount of care and tending to get to even a place where it can bloom.
Right.
So if you consider your life somewhat similar to a flower, it's going to be a while before you even notice
That it's underground.
what's happening.
Right.
It started underneath.
Underground.
It was,
dirt.
Yeah.
someone had to sow it. Like it was covered up, watered, tended to before even a leaf sprouted.
Yeah.
So
Those
when
experiences.
the flower blooms, you're just kind of like,
Wow, right? But you didn't realize the process underneath.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, if I were to speak to my younger self, forgive yourself, right? Just going back to what Monique said, because I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, and it took me a while to get to that point to say that made me who I am today. I was upset that this didn't happen at the time that it happened. I was upset that I was just angry at myself for making that choice. I was angry, and then when you look at it in hindsight, it's like, you know what? I needed to go through that. I needed to make that mistake because if I didn't make that mistake, I wouldn't be standing here today. I would be somewhere else, and God knows doing what. So learning to forgive myself.
For me, I think I would tell myself just to learn to stick up for yourself against your parents. It's weird because, yes, I'm still 23, so I still live at home, and right now it's like me and my mom are in this battle of her letting go and me walking into who I am, and it's just very difficult because, of course, as a Haitian Christian woman, and I'm a first child, so when she holds on, she's holding on strong, and it's so hard for me because while I'm still home, my younger sister, she's a year and a half younger than me. She's gone. Not she's gone, but she's in Boston right now for school. So she's not dealing with the reins I am, and I'm just yo, I'm the oldest. Let me go. Let me go. And it's just I feel because me and my sister are different personalities, she always stood up for herself, and I guess it made it easier for my mom to let go. Yeah. And because I wasn't as outspoken or as firm in my position and my decisions when it comes to my relationship with my parents, it's having an effect right now. So right now my mom thinks I'm rebellious. Right now I'm trying to let go. So it's if I dealt with that relationship early on, I think it would have been better to transition. But yeah, that's what I would talk to
Can I
myself
just
about.
say,
Okay,
I hate
'cause
to tell you,
was gonna say something.
I hate to tell you, I don't want to scare you or anything,
gosh.
but it doesn't change. They're never gonna let it go. I'm not gonna lie, I'm old. And even now, I'm not gonna lie. I will not lie. I will not lie. Wait, but even today, sometimes I have to tell my mother, listen, I'm an adult. You can't tell me what to do. I'm not being rebellious. I'm making a decision for myself. I'm not making it for you anymore, because we spent a long time. We were raised that your decisions affect them, right? Everything you do affects them. And eventually you have to say to yourself, no, yes, my decision affects you, but it's to be my decision. And I love that you said that, learning that you can stand up for yourself.
I agree somewhat, because I feel like my parents did have a really big hold as well, but it got to a point that I was, I guess, if we want to say rebellious, so much that they got accustomed to it now. It's just well, you're going to do what you want to do. I am. I am. I'm glad you know. I'm glad you know. And I honestly, and this is what I'm saying, even if you didn't do it earlier, you are becoming that. And honestly, it's a great skill to have, because when you go in the workforce, that's going to be a great skill to have. Yeah. You are still bringing who you are and standing up for yourself, so you're not taken advantage of. In a lot of different scenarios, you're learning certain skills of assertiveness, especially with females. That's a struggle with a lot of females, is being assertive. So learning that there and then bringing it with you, it's a good thing, to speaking up for yourself overall. It's helping you become.
Yeah. You know what? And your parents, it's a dual thing, right? Because they're letting go of their baby. They watched you, they took care of you, and then you know what I mean? They're
Or
forever
their perception
parents
of you.
Yeah, their perception of you. They were forever their kid and their baby, so they want the best for you, and they don't know how this process works, right? The letting go and all that. So it's a thing for them too, but you're gonna disappoint your parents. It is what it is. It's a part of life. They did it to theirs, and it just happens. You know what I mean? And
they don't admit that though.
Yeah, they won't admit
They
it.
will not.
But I mean, it's a thing. It's a part of growing up, and so you technically have to be okay with that. You got to be okay with. There's sometimes your parents are just gonna be disappointed or upset or what have you, but they're always gonna have your back. So it's it is what it is. You know, there's no way around it. So
it's okay to disappoint them.
for me, I'm gonna say
just keep your
yeah.
relationship.
Don't go in. Do not go in with the intention to say I'm going to disappoint you today.
I mean,
I would just let you know.
And you're not
you
being
know.
rude and disrespectful, but if there are certain things that you've thought through or whatever the case may be, and you have a firm stance on it, then you go ahead and do that. You know what I mean? If it not breaks their heart, if it disappoints them in any way, shape, or form, it's a part of your learning. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's helping you become. And like I said, like, even when you do that, they're still gonna, I've got your back. Like, they'll probably be like, I told you not to, but they're got your back still. You know what I mean? But you have to have these learning curves, because I always think about it like, if I don't learn, if I don't fail, if I don't have whatever, what am I gonna tell my kids? Like, what am I gonna... what life experience can I pass on if I never get the chance to stumble? You know, just have my back. Like, we're at the stage of life where I don't need you to hold my hand. I need you to be my net. So, you know, it's, yeah. I like that. We got deep on that one. Oh, you know what? I will tell my younger self one more thing. Timeline. Forget about it.
Throw it out the window.
Throw it away, sis. It's you know what? Having a timeline caused me harm. It caused me harm in like, oh my gosh, I'm this age and I didn't accomplish this, or this person is doing this and I'm lagging behind, or I always had this thing where I said to myself, I'm like, I feel like I'm not living, or I'm not starting life because I didn't hit my milestone, or whatever the case may be. Throw that all out and just, live and have the experiences, and like I said, fall and get back up and do all the things. In that process, you're living.
Right. And I think that another thing I would say is everyone's journey is different as well. Just like a GPS, we can all get to the same destination, but different routes, different times. Yeah. It's so important to know, especially like friend groups and cousins and family, like all of your routes to this destination is different. The time frame is different, and it's okay.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. What do you think of someone who says they're a feminist? I have a negative connotation to that, though.
Well, what's the definition?
I think that's, we need to figure that one out. What's the definition of feminist that we're going to go with?
It has transformed over the course of many years. And so that's why I agree with Monique. Like, what's your definition? It really just depends on that. Because there's a lot of people, women in general, or men to use it derogatory, like, or you're such a feminist. What do you mean by that? But I don't have an opinion either way on it. But I just know that it has shifted and changed over the course of a couple of years, decades even. And it has had positive and negative connotations to it.
So, like, I had a weird experience with, like, feminism, I guess, only because I took a class in college, and it was called Women, Feminism, and Beyonce. Great class, I gotta say. Okay. Why? I have to say it was a great class because the class was focused on feminism, but they mainly focused on the word womanism, which is Black feminism, because of course feminist movement wasn't for Black people in general before. It was to oppose the Black movement in the beginning. If you didn't know that in the beginning, and then everyone's like, oh, I'm a feminist, you don't stand for me. Okay, but the class focused on, because I took this class in 2018, this was around the time Lemonade came out. So we used Lemonade to like define like women and feminism. It was a great class overall, but I struggled with it a little bit because it's a lot of course, like, we're women of faith, so a lot of it does go against like some things of what we believe in. Okay, yeah. Because a lot of it's like when walking in your sexuality and walking in like gender roles and all these things. And it's just like, I'm the type of person where I believe in gender roles. I believe in
Don't get it twisted. Society does too. City girls believe in some gender roles. Okay, city girls flew me out. They believe in some gender roles in that area.
You fix the car, you do all that.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I feel like because right now the feminism is so extreme, where it's like, if a man can do it, I can do it. No, you can't. No, you can't, sis. And I feel like
well, you shouldn't have to.
Even if I do I want to?
Right. Yes. It's like, why would you want to work in that, walk in that dominant thing? It's just like, sometimes over the course of history, a lot of women had to we're forced to be in a position of being both like the man and the woman and like the families or raising their kids and a lot. And of course, like when suddenly you put a man in a position, do you want to let go of that role and let that man take that role? And it's like, first of all, the man has to let you be comfortable enough to let you go, let you to let go. Right. So I don't know.
I think that goes hand in hand with the idea that if people are comfortable, because I don't mind gender roles either way. I think because if I can do it, I would love to do it. If I don't have to, I don't want to. Right. But at the same time, I think ideally it should be open. Like you should have that option, you know. And I think that not originally, but at some point, that's what the movement was more about. I want the option to be able to do it. I don't want you to say, well, no, don't touch that car, you know, or that alternator or anything like that. Like, I got this. That's a man's thing. Or telling a man, don't go in the kitchen, don't take care of the kids. Why not?
Right.
Why not? Because people forget, like when you look at, I don't really like jumping to child rearing, but if you're taking care of kids, is that really only a woman's job?
Right.
No, because you need that support as a woman, you know, that not only can do it on my own, but it's definitely beneficial if I have the support of a partner that, you know, that I planned on doing this with.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just going to add really quick. I think it's our upbringing also. We were raised where we didn't have males in our household. So I picked up a lot of, you know, skills sets that I would assume that a male would do. And I know it's going to be hard for me because it's been hard in relationships to say, oh, you do that. You could go ahead and do that. Because it's just, I'm so used to it. But then at the same time, it's like, I'm used to doing both. Cooking, cleaning, painting, fixing something. So it's like, okay, you want to pay bills, but I'm used to doing that. So it's just, I think it depends on your upbringing.
It is big because my house has a lot of males. So my dad's like, don't you dare go near these type of things. So I almost not even realizing how much constructs he's built in my mind of this is what you're supposed to do. This is what I've been raised to. I was challenged when I moved on campus. Now I'm living in all girl dorms and I was challenged now because now it's just like, why are you not doing this? And it's like, I didn't even realize this is not something I've done. Right. And just getting to that point of being like, well, I can do more than I thought I could do.
Yeah. You know what? You guys had a lot of good points about this feminist. For me, either way, I don't really have a thought about it. I don't. It's not a piece of my life. I don't. I will say I'm not a fan of the extreme aspects of it, like the overly sexualized. Like, I'm like, I feel like when we hear the word feminism, it's always something sexual. And I'm like, well, that's not the only thing that it should be fighting for or fighting against, whatever, what have you. But that seems to be the argument whenever you hear the word feminist. So I really don't care for. Don't come for me in the comments, guys. But don't come for me. All right. So today, I hope you guys enjoyed this discussion. Ladies, let us know how you feel in the comments. You know, any point that you wanted to write about or talk about, let us know. As always, continue to listen, to follow, hit that subscribe button, and check out, Different by Default. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.